Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thanks, everybody, for joining today's webinar. So, very excited. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. So, my name is Sierra Hoffman, and I'm the founder of Commercial Real Estate Bosses, which is a podcast. We have a meetup and an online community. And I'm also a multifamily syndicator along with my husband, Boyd. So I'm really excited about today's webinar because it really helps to solve a problem that I know I definitely struggled with when I was first getting into commercial real estate. And that is market research, right? I could make myself do it, but it's not what I like to do for fun on the weekends. So I know for some people it might be. And just out of curiosity, I want to see, is there anyone in the room who just loves to do market research for fun? Anyone other than Donato? Just want to see show of hands. All right. I'm not really seeing anybody raise their hand on that. Okay. So I think most of the people are in the same boat. I think Kimberly put her hand up. All right, cool. So most of the people are in the same boat, I think, as me, where it's not my favorite thing to do. And I had a bunch of spreadsheets and I was trying to keep organized, but it's still really hard to have an apples to apples comparison because all the information online was scattered. There's so many different websites, and compiling all of that can become easily confusing and overwhelming. And it's really just about how you can find the information and also be able to apply it and make an informed decision on where to invest. And it's an ongoing thing that you want to do for every single property you evaluate. You have to do more market research every time. So it's not a one-time thing. Again, that's why I'm excited to share this software with you, because I feel it was made for people like myself who just want access to that information and not have to spend hours or days or weeks trying to find it. So if you can relate with that, then you're in the right place today. Now, at the end, we are going to have Q&A, so stick around for that. And we also do have a special discount for those who are going to be sticking with us to the end, because we want to reward you for your time and for investing your time here with us today. All right. Okay. So without further ado, I'm excited to introduce you to Donato Callahan. He's one of those people that just loves market research and he does it for fun. So thankfully, there are people like that who exist and can help people like you and me. So Donato, I'll let you take it away from here.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the webinar. My name is Donato Callahan, and today I'm going to show you how Bright Investor helps you build extreme wealth in real estate without losing sleep at night and not spending all of your time doing market research. Now, I'm guessing for a lot of you, this is probably not your first webinar. The first thing I want to mention is that if you failed at building wealth or doing real deals in real estate in the past, do not beat yourself up. There is so much information out there, and it's designed to be confusing. Many times, the information overload is what keeps us from success. It's okay. If you've been concerned in the past that you just can't succeed with real estate investing, I want to put those fears to rest, because you can do this in a way that makes sense. You just need the right person to explain it. Big corporations, institutional investors, nothing wants you to think that you need Fortune 500 connections, weeks of research, and a genius level intellect to succeed in real estate. But I'm here to tell you that's completely wrong. They have their own reasons for wanting you to think that, but it's just not true. If you've ever thought that government and the banks want you to fail, you're probably right. They do not benefit from you succeeding and becoming financially independent. They want to keep you in debt and in need. The difference with us is that we're in your shoes. We actually care about your success. We truly want to see you live in the life of your dreams. And we know that real estate market research is how we can make that happen. So that's what we're here for. I know you have a dream to change your future, make an impact, and I want to show you how you can make that happen during this webinar. My goal for this presentation is to help two types of people. For beginners, you'll get introduced to why making the real estate market work for you is the only way to build long-term wealth in real estate. For experienced people, you'll get the ability to scale your investing career to levels you've only dreamed of. So in the next 30 minutes, my goal is to get you to believe that Bright Investor is the key to unlocking long-term wealth by making the markets work for you. And I'm going to show you our proprietary framework that will make it simple to achieve that result. I saw people, no hands up. Not a lot of people are having fun with real estate market research. That's okay. That's what we're here to help you do. So most of you are probably wondering, who the heck is this guy? Over the past few years, I became the vice president of due diligence and market research for AM Multifamily, a commercial syndication company with $15 million in assets and another $15 million under contract. I work for the Department of Defense as a geospatial analyst supporting our nation, and even purchased a house hack in St. Louis that lets me live for free and cash flow over $2,000 a month, in addition to becoming the co-founder and CEO of Bright Investor. But most importantly, I've been able to help other people buy their first investment properties and start their investing careers. But it was not always like that. In fact, just a few short years ago, I was just like you, sitting at home during COVID-19, watching the world come to a screeching halt. I had just lost half of my net worth in the stock market and wasted $25,000 on a failed wholesaling business that I felt the weight of having absolutely no control over my wealth building or my own life. I knew that if things stayed the same and I kept doing the same thing over and over again, which is the definition of insanity, I would never be able to live life on my own terms. As a college student about to graduate, there weren't many easy ways to make money. I wanted to start stacking cash as fast as possible. But what I really wanted was more freedom to spend time with my family back in Iowa and listen to my grandpa talk about the glory days of running his welding company and how he should never have sold it. They filled my soul more than anything else. And I wanted to create something that would empower me to soak up every possible minute I could with them. So I tried a lot of things: personal training, property management, wholesaling. Everything I tried ended up costing me more money than I made, if I made money at all. And each new experiment has got me closer and closer to staying in the rat race. But about that time, I met people who were buying big apartment complexes, and it seemed like they were doing pretty well. So I decided to try my hand at it. And the main problem was I didn't have any knowledge or experience that I thought would get people to take me seriously and sell a big apartment complex to someone like me. Only thing I did have going for me at this time is I knew a hotshot wholesaler out of Denver who knew some people in the syndication business. So I talked to him and he helped me narrow down some criteria, get introduced to the business, and help analyze markets and why that was important to long-term wealth building. I actually ended up finding a 96-unit building in St. Louis, Missouri while still in college, got the offer made, got it accepted, hired the contractors for my walkthrough, and we're actually going to buy this building. It was amazing. For that deal, we were buying from a local landlord who had other projects to work on, needed to get out from this one, and I needed a ton of work. We're talking non-paying residents, drugs everywhere, and even a senior citizen daycare being run out of the lobby. And when it came time for the final inspection before signing the contract, the buyer showed us the true financials on the property and our hearts sank because the price to buy the property we offered was based off the financials we just learned weren't accurate. So we tried to negotiate with him after getting this new information, but he wouldn't budge. And I ate the several $1,000s in contractor and traveling costs I just spent right after graduating college, falling on my face directly again. And almost overnight, that business stopped working. That meant I either needed to quit multifamily and real estate, get serious, get the job, make money to recoup my losses, or pour more cash into a failing business. Both options really seemed horrible. And I left at that feeling pretty hopeless and wondering exactly how I was going to make this thing work, if at all. I actually ended up shutting down that business because I was losing so much money every month in operating costs. But just a few months later, I got a call from my old landlord in college who had just started a multifamily education course and knew I'd been doing something similar. Granted, at this time, not successfully, but I went to the School of Hard Knocks. Her name was Fia, and she wanted me to join her as we built a new team. And I assumed that because I hadn't failed in multifamily, that other people weren't having as much luck either. But I got introduced to some new syndicators, Greg, Lisa, Adam, and Eric Parrish, and got to ask them about how syndication was going for them. And they said it was better than ever. So I asked her, of course, how is that possible? And they gave me this big aha moment. They shared with me that they'd added a step to their process while acquiring over 3,800 units in just a few short years that changed everything. She said it was similar to surfing. If you want to ride the big wave, you have to find the right beach and get there early. After they found a property that penciled out, they did a deeper market research analysis to find the hidden value of the property's market and the specific property's location that nobody else could see. They said that the best deals are the ones that where only you can see the opportunity and make the market work for you instead of fighting local trends. And I got super excited. So I quickly tried to find a property that I could do a deep dive on, and I found one. I penciled it out, created my market deep dive, implemented a model, and just like that, I made a property under contract for 172 units at $15 million. I realized from that experience that the secret to success in real estate was not necessarily what the property is, but where it is and where it's going. This simple mindset shift was a secret to buy properties that double in value and create way more wealth with way less headache and not lose sleep at night. Now, the three main secrets I learned throughout this process were: one, property's location is the number one predictor of wealth. Number two, the wealthiest investors make real estate market work for them. And three, markets change, and staying blind will cost you. So number one, a property's location is the number one predictor of wealth. There are properties, addresses, zip codes, cities that are worth exponentially more than the surrounding areas, all because of its location. For example, back in 1965, when your grandma bought a house in Beverly Hills, California for $35,000, why is that property now worth $1.5 million today? Does anyone have the answer? Yes, I do. It's because it's in Beverly Hills. Goal here is to identify properties that make financial sense and are poised to capitalize on the most premier locations available on a street-by-street basis. Secret number two, the wealthiest investors make the real estate market work for them. You want the market to be working for you, not against you. So if thousands of people are moving to a city like Austin, Texas, and massive companies like Tesla and Amazon are investing there with new factories and manufacturing plants, the demand for housing is going to go up as more people are moving there. The goal here is to identify localities and markets that have solid fundamentals and projections that we can ride the wave of progress into massive wealth. And number three, markets change and staying blind will cost you. Time changes almost everything, and the real estate market can change very rapidly given the right conditions. I'm living in St. Louis, Missouri, and I can tell you back in the 70s and 80s, the north city of St. Louis was abandoned seemingly overnight, leaving thousands of properties vacant, run down as an open invitation to crime. Property values still haven't recovered, and the city spends millions of dollars on attracting investment and trying to do the job of turning that area around. And no one's been able to have massive success in turning that market back into a successful cash flow wealth building one in decades. You need to consistently access updated information, and you must keep your eye on the markets to watch for either a golden opportunity or catastrophe waiting to happen. So the next slide, value. How does Bright Investor help you implement the secrets that I learned? One, when you have this product, you're going to be able to get your time back. And for everyone here trying to build wealth, time is the one thing that you can't make more of. And it's arguably the wealthiest a person can be is when they have the time to spend with the people and the places that they love. You're also going to stay on top of changing market trends. You're going to buy in the best wealth creating locations, and you're going to invest in properties that show the world that you are a bright investor. See how the name makes sense now? Bright Investor? A lot of thought got put into that one. Now, what you're giving up by using the Bright Investor, what you're getting rid of, is the dozens of tabs open on your computer at the same time, clicking back and forth, losing hours every week to analysis, trying to find if the data is trustworthy or not, is it at the right level that I need it? And you're going to get rid of the sleepless nights of wondering if you bought the right area at the right time. And you're not going to feel alone in your investing journey with all the bright investors around you. So let me ask you a question. How many of you are excited about what we've covered so far? Got some head nods, some absolutely nots, maybe some yes or no's. How many of you are feeling a little overwhelmed because of what we talked about? Maybe a little bit here and there. Also, one more question. Who here wants an exclusive demo for Bright Investor? Can I get some yes? If you guys don't want it, it's okay. I mean, I already know all this. I've seen Bright Investor. I can leave right now.
All right. Terrence
All
has
right.
got all the fire emojis. Roger says market research rabbit home. Mustafa wants the demo. Roy says yes. Sherry says yes. Let's demo. Roger says fire. All right. Jason says that's what we're here for. Kylie, fire emoji. I love it. All right. Let's get this going.
Let's do it. Okay. Welcome to Bright Investor. Now, when you're a Bright Investor, you're going to have nationwide access to market trends so you can make wealth consistently and help the real estate markets work for you. So now I'm a Bright Investor. I can search anywhere I want. And let's say that I want to go somewhere and I want to see people are moving in. So I can generate population layers and see by zip code basis for cities across the US. How are people moving in? How are people moving out? What does that change look like over time? And what is it projected to do? Not only who is moving into the area, but what employment opportunities do they have? If I'm buying somewhere, the economic opportunity in the area. Bright Investor is going to show you the top job sectors for every market in the US, showing you not only who's leading the market, but who's growing over time. And it looks like Atlanta's leading with trade, professional business services, and education. On top of that, I want to buy somewhere that people actually want to have demand for my housing. Rental unit vacancy data is going to show you exactly how properties are performing when it comes to occupancy in your metro. For those of you investing in Atlanta, looks like we've had a 4.4% increase in vacancy just over the past quarter. I'd keep my eyes up if I were you. On top of that, I'm going to know how property values are going to change. Are things trending in the right direction? Are property values going up, down, sideways? Who knows? With Bright Investor, I could run an appreciation query for all the zip codes in my market and see exactly how the median and average prices have changed over time, especially by zip code, to see where I should be investing if I want to maximize the returns on my property over time and build wealth by making the real estate market work for you. Because if you have the option to buy somewhere that's losing value every year versus an area that's gaining value every year, how many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, are you adding to your net worth by buying in the area that's on its way up? Let's get even more specific. I've got a property that I'm interested in. I want to see what's it renting for. I'm going to run a rent query. And just like that, I have my minimum, median, maximum 75th and 25th percentile of rents coming straight from our friends over at Rentometer. You can even download your Rentometer Pro reports straight out of Bright Investor without having to have an account on Rentometer itself. Additionally, super excited about this latest edition. Who here has thought about doing Airbnbs or short-term rentals or turning some syndication units into short-term rentals for cash flow? A lot of people, I'm sure, have. So wouldn't it be nice to know what your competition is? Bright Investor allows you to see active Airbnb listings in your area and see exactly what they're ranked, how many reviews they have, how many guests they serve, what their price is per night. So you get access to exactly what you need to be charging and what the competition is charging for short-term rentals and Airbnbs in your vicinity. On top of that, if I'm going to buy a short-term rental, it has to be something that's going to cash flow, which means it needs to be filled up. And how do I know if my area is actually performing well for Airbnbs? You don't have to worry about that. We've got you covered. With occupancy rates for the entire metropolitan area by bedroom type. So if you're investing in Atlanta across 2,600 different Airbnbs, you're looking at about a 41% occupancy rate. Is that enough for you to cash flow and make money? Depends on you and your property's location. Now let's get more specific. If I'm buying somewhere, I need to advertise this to potential renters. They're going to ask me a question. What's the crime? Is it safe? Bright Investor can help. Bright Investor is going to show you a heat map of crime on the ground for whatever market you're checking out. And on top of that, not only do you see where the crime is focused and where the safe areas, when you zoom in, we're going to show you pin by pin what crime happened where, the actual address level. I've got a theft from motor vehicle. I've got an aggravated assault. And right up here, looks like I got a weapons law violation. Know on a street by street basis what your investment property is getting into before you get there. And if I'm buying somewhere long term to create wealth and I want to make the market work for me, I'm probably going to buy somewhere that's not right in the downtown hotspot of crime. Now that I have my crime, I want to see other things too. My renters are interested in what the nearby school situation looks like. How are they performing on equity and test scores? What's the percentage of students? All this information that you can use to advertise to your renters, prospective buyers, all right here in Bright Investor that we can add to a layer. Because we have a little bit more time, a little more information for you, we're going to show you businesses nearby as well. So if I'm buying somewhere, I want to know that local businesses are there, restaurants, parks, hospitals, the things that people want to live by, and the things that spur future investment in my area, all queryable directly from Bright Investor. Restaurants, banks, hospitals, grocery, parks, everything you need to know if this area is being invested in and has the amenities that people are going to continue to move by, that's going to increase your property's value over time. Now, all these things I've been stacking and querying today, we know that making an investment in an area is not just based on one piece of information. It's based on multiple. So all the data we've had today, we can layer it up. So I can see how schools are performing nearby, on top of my crime, on top of a population layer if I wanted to. I can take all of this data and layer it on top of each other and showcase it to make the most informed decision possible. Let's take a look-see here. If I have a list of properties, list of leads, your broker just called, you've got a hot new list, maybe you have some absentee owner properties you're checking out. How can you see if those are nearby the areas you want to be buying in? Bright Investor has you covered there too. You can import your entire property list directly into Bright Investor. Not only that, you can add your quick focuses. So you can instantly delineate between which properties you're interested in and which ones you're not. And just like that, I've added a filter that makes the most expensive properties bright green and the cheapest properties red. So I can instantly see I have some expensive properties right around this area in my 3 to 4 ring school neighborhoods. But on top of that, you guys used to watch Billy Mays commercials, just wait, there's more. I can add another quick focus and stack on top. And I'm going to go by unit count or beds right now, by scale. Now my biggest pins are the ones with the most units, and my smallest pins are the ones with the least amount of units. You're going to get into Bright Investor, you're going to stack data types, and you're going to see which properties work best for you based on where they're at, their location, and what's going on in the market. Nationwide access, many markets help you make the market work for your wealth building career.
Sierra, at this moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the case study. You are a brand new investor, you're a multifamily syndicator, and I'm sure you have some questions about the big city of Austin and how you even get started. So if you don't mind, channel your brain back to you were just getting started and you had all these questions. How do I know what the path of progress is? What am I doing? You ask me and I'll be your guidance investor.
Absolutely. So first time getting into this market, and I've done all the trainings and I am ready to start choosing my market, but I just don't know. How do I know what's a good area? How do I know if it's a B class area? I don't want to get into a D area. And I know that the A class area is not going to be where I can get the most bang for my buck. And I want to implement a value add strategy in the path of progress. So how do I know where to find that?
It's a great question. And let me ask, do you know what the path of progress is on a definition? How to define a path of progress?
It's in the area where it's emerging. There's a lot of growth happening. It's on the upward trend versus the downward trend.
Exactly. Absolutely. Guys, the path of progress is being able to see where other people are investing and pouring money into renovations, new construction, new multifamily, new warehousing, new industrial, seeing where the actual lifeblood and the pulse of the market is moving. Where is the market shifting? Where is the city growing? So for Sierra, if you want to know how to track that, we can help. In the city of Austin, we're going to show you how we can help answer that question. Because you said that you were looking at value add, correct? You're looking at that kind of strategy?
Correct.
Okay. So what we're going to look for areas that aren't necessarily in the absolute epicenter of what's being developed, but are also not going to be left behind where no development's happening. You want to be in that B to C class area. In order to find that information, I'm going to look for build permits that are both new construction and renovation. Because I'm interested in seeing where people are actually pouring money into, whether making C properties into Bs or breaking ground in brand new projects. On top of that, you're looking for things that are going to benefit the commercial multifamily space so you can buy a value add component. When I click this button, generate map, Sierra, I want to show you path of progress in Austin, Texas. Just like that, you have the path of progress. So everyone can see that. We've got some areas where a lot of light blue and some hot pink areas. Everything you see here in hot pink is where the most activity is happening. Now, that's probably going to be an area that's on its way up to an A class, or it's a greatly and very quickly being improved upon areas in the B or C class. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on one of these hot pink areas. And when I zoom in far enough, Ciara, this is what you're going to see. Every single build permit that's been pulled in the last year is right here in front of you. Everything in green is new construction. Everything in orange is renovation. If you want to buy somewhere that's in a B or C class area, you want to be looking for somewhere that's directly around the hottest areas for development. And we can see in this hot pink area and red area, there's a lot of building going on. This looks to be the Crestview area. A lot of development happening here. If I click on one of these pins, I know you're looking for things that are in the residential space and commercial space. I can see that back on July 13th last year, a water build permit was pulled for 1804 Piedmont. And because I know you're looking to understand exactly what type of work is being done around these areas, you can click contractor description, and it's going to tell you exactly what the contractor typed in the computer when they pulled that permit. In this case, it's a plumbing permit for a single family house. Obviously, a lot of development happening in Crestview, and a lot of development happening in South Menchaca, East Cesar Chavez, and Mueller districts of Austin. What I'm interested in as well, it's seeing how that's changing, because just because an area is really hot now doesn't necessarily mean it's always been hot or it always will be. We want to understand exactly if an area is on its way up or on its way down so we can be in the path of progress. To do that, I'm going to click change over time and generate maps and see if I can counter this. Ciara, let me ask you, what is it that you're seeing here now? We have the path of progress. Now it's changing on the screen. What are we seeing?
We're seeing how the change happened over time.
Absolutely. Month by month, you are seeing where the most build permit activity is happening. Which areas were really hot, which areas are cooling down, and which areas are on their way up. When I'm looking at buying a specific area, specific properties, I'm going to use this to make sure I'm investing in locations that meet my criteria, whether A, B, or C. And I know in a way that none of the other tens of thousands of investors around me don't know, is you can predict exactly where the money is being poured into a city and capitalize on it, unlike anyone else can. This is how you track the path of progress.
All right. We had a lot of people who just loved that demo. We got a ton of like fire emojis and wow, this is awesome. And people saying I'd pay a hefty premium for this. So everyone's loving this information you guys are sharing right now.
Thank you so much. And we're happy to say that other people love it too. Love to introduce you to Jody from Vox Capital, who saw a Bright Investor and instantly became one of our biggest supporters and an elite member right away. She's on her way to expanding into top markets and taking down wealth building deals. On top of that, we have Sawyer from Blue Haven Investments, small company who after just 3 weeks with Bright Investor saved over $30,000 in market research analysis costs. They're paying $5,000 a market to get information. And now all that's saved, putting it into his next deal. So I want to go back and make sure you realize who this is for. This is for people who are just starting out and for those who are already successful and want to scale. And the elephant in the room, you might be thinking that you can't get started with this because you aren't ready to buy your next property or you don't have the systems in place to scale your business yet. Here's why that's a mistake and why that will hold you back from success. Winning in real estate comes from making informed decisions, planning your next step, and taking action even when you don't feel ready yet. That is the singular thing that separates people who talk about making money in real estate and those who actually transform their lives and build wealth with real estate. As a friend Jason of mine says, people who like to ask a lot of questions and talk a lot about getting in the game, but don't actually do it. We want to avoid being one of them and to be the person who actively builds the life that they say they want. And more importantly, knows they have the power and the skill sets to do it. So when you sign up with Bright Investor, you're getting access to our product and so much more. You get access to the Bright Investor platform with high quality data that's updated for you all in one spot. You're going to get a library of Bright Investor calculators, tools, and educational material. You're going to get one-on-one customer support with actual investors who are doing actual deals across the market, who can help you understand what you're looking at and can help you make sure we're getting your questions answered on your way to creating wealth. In addition to that, you're going to get invitations to educational webinars where we're going to talk about how to make the real estate market work for you, case studies of individuals who've done that before, how to leverage Bright Investor to do that market research analysis, how to analyze a property's location, and then even doing live property analysis to see how you and your Bright Investor brethren are coming together to build wealth and make the markets work for them. So if you had a real estate portfolio creating long-lasting wealth, the question here is, what would it be worth to you? How much would you pay to have one successful portfolio? And based on our demo conversation today, you can probably see why people would pay thousands for a similar result, because it's not a cost, it's an investment. But on our last slide, if you tabulate up all the data that we're showcasing, try to just get the raw data itself, you'd be paying $2,500 a month easily. That's not saying anything about visualizing it, stacking it, the educational material, the calculators, the tools, all that's way more than $2,500 a month. And even at $1,250 a month, this would be a great deal. But because you're here at CRE Bosses webinar, because our host is an amazing individual, we're offering everyone here today a very special offer. You're going to get everything we talked about today for $99.95 a month. All of our data types, nationwide access, unlimited PDF reports you can share with your investors, your colleagues, and your partners. Yes, all the data I just showed you can be put into exportable PDFs. You're getting tools like calculators, the webinars, and market research support, $99.95 a month. And if you use exclusive discount code CRE Bosses at checkout, you're going to get 50% off your first month or 25% off your first year. Meaning that if you sign up for your first month with the code, you're only going to pay $49.97 for your first month. Let's talk about the big question. Why is it so affordable? Now, let me put this into perspective for you. If you were to hire a professional to analyze the market for you, it might cost $5,000 to understand just one market. Just ask Sawyer, our case study from earlier. But because you're learning to do it yourself, building those skills, I'm giving you all the tools and resources to make it happen fast. And I want to help as many people as possible do this the right way. You're only paying $99.95. I am not here to help the institutional investors save a little bit of money so they can go ahead and squeeze more profit. We are here for everyday small, mid-sized investors, small companies getting out there, building wealth. This information, this data belongs to you. It belongs to the people who have a dream, who have time they want to reclaim, have fortunes to build, so they can support the people, the places, and the hobbies that matter most to them. That is why we are here. That is why it is affordable. That is our core tenet of what Bright Investor is. You have two choices. You can choose to do nothing. And if you do nothing with the information you've learned during this webinar, what will you get? Nothing. Or you can choose to take a leap of faith. Just test it out. See if it works for you. And on the next slide, you're going to see you have a money-back guarantee. Every paid membership comes with a 14-day money-back guarantee. So there's literally no risk to you. None whatsoever. So the real question, is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Even if it only does half of what I've claimed today, and I haven't even mentioned the 6 new data types we're dropping in just the next couple of weeks, this product will pay for itself as soon as your next deal. Thank you so much for attending our webinar tonight. You're receiving our special offer to get 50% off your first month or 25% off your first year of Bright Investor when you use the code CRE Bosses at checkout. If Bright Investor is right for you, come check us out. We cannot wait to build this community with you and help you make the real estate market work for your wealth building career.
Awesome. All right. We already have so much great feedback happening in the chat. Terrence says it's like I'm watching an Apple keynote without the hefty price at the end. And we have a lot of people saying that they're in. We have Casey Davis. He says, I'm in. Terrence says, done. And Chad says, we will do the year. Awesome job. Nalima says, this is great. So much value. Kylie says she's in. Awesome. All right. So we have so many amazing feedback, and we do have some questions that came up as well while you guys were going through the demo. One person asked, does it print reports?
Yes. Every single thing that you query in Bright Investor, there's a little button called PDF exports. You can go in there. It takes a screenshot of whatever you have on your map, puts it right on a nice, beautifully designed PDF that you can download, send to anybody you need. Everything in Bright Investor is shareable, and we're releasing a brand new iteration of PDFs in just a couple of weeks too, making it even more powerful.
Perfect. Yeah, Helen had the same question. If there was a place in the software where you share all the sources of this data as well.
Absolutely. Underneath every data type, when you do a query, we show exactly what data source we're getting that information from. In addition, our next release is going to have every single data source hyperlinked directly to the data tradecraft and methodology and how it's created and curated. Complete 100% data transparency on exactly what you're seeing.
That was a really big thing. We wanted to make sure that for anyone who's trying to get into market research, that they know that they can actually trust the data that they're using. Because so many platforms out there will create opportunities and they're saying, hey, this is what it is. But it's, okay, how can I trust that? How do I know that's verifiable? And so we've tried to really curate data from the most trustworthy sources in the industry all into one place. Because, yeah, that's definitely what everyone wants to do when they're actually looking into a market.
Perfect. All right. We have two people asking the same question. One is, so do we get training on the platform because the demo went by really quick?
Absolutely. So right now we have tutorials filmed for each individual data type that shows exactly how to run a search for every single one of them. Those get updated as soon as we get new data types released. In addition to that, we're hosting live webinars. We have one just a couple weeks from now where all of our Bright investors can come together and get education on it. And we have a live one-on-one chat bot system in the platform. You can reach out to us, ask questions. We're happy to set up meetings with you as well, answer questions, and support you through Bright Investor.
Yes. And I will say that their support is amazing. There's a few different ways you can get in touch with them. You can either email them, or there is a little chat box at the bottom of the screen, and people get back to you right away, and they're very responsive. And if there's any kind of bugs or glitches, they respond to me right away and they get that fixed immediately. So I've been really impressed with the customer service that I've experienced. So we do have two people asking again the same question. So Heidi says, how often is the data updated?
Short answer, it depends on the data type. So we have rent comparisons, Airbnb listings, population, jobs, all the data you saw there. And depending on the data source we get it from, the type of data, it changes. So things like rent and Airbnbs, that can be updated daily. Then we have things like they're updated on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, biannual, and annual basis. When you get to things like population, jobs, it's going to be on that quarterly basis. Vacancy data comes straight from our US Census. That's on a quarterly basis. So as soon as new data gets pushed out, Bright Investor ingests it, is visualizing it the next day.
Okay, awesome. All right. Eliza, she says she came in late and she's asking, is this only for commercial real estate?
No, it's not. That's a great thing Bright Investor talks about, is that this is about the property's location and real estate market research, making the market work for you. So using the custom CSV tool that we have, any property list or lead list that you have, whether that's coming from PropStream or Deal Machine on the residential side, all the way to LoopNet, or CoStar, or your broker that's giving you property leads, you can take all the properties you're interested in taking down, upload them to Bright Investor, and then search all the different market data types that you want to see so you can compare your specific property to what's happening around it. And the great thing about that is that's not just limited to commercial space. We're adding features every couple of weeks that apply to commercial investors, single family investors. We just added Airbnb data for short-term rental investors. This is designed to be that melting pot where all investors can come together, get the information they need, and learn to ask even better questions by communicating and working with other Bright investors on the platform.
Awesome. Okay. And so we have Roy asking, does the month-to-month service require a yearly commitment?
No, because nobody likes contracts. I can ask that question. Anybody here like contracts? Anybody want to sign another year long? I didn't think so. When it comes to this platform, no commitments. If you sign up for a monthly commitment or a monthly membership, they're every 30 days. If you want to cancel, you can. If you wanted to stay with us forever, you can do that too. I'll be really happy about that. There's absolutely no annual commitments. There's no contracts, absolutely nothing like that. You are not locked in for any reason whatsoever.
Okay. Chad says, does the 25% off only apply to the elite package?
No, it applies to all packages we have.
All right. And so just a reminder, you do have a guarantee, a 14-day guarantee. So there's no risk in trying it out. And if you don't like it, you can get your refund, no questions asked within 14 days. So I would recommend try it out, use the promo code now. And if you don't like it, then you can always request your refund within the 14 days. All right. Christopher's raised his hand. So Christopher, go ahead.
Oh, okay, perfect. Can you share your screen or share the software with your partner when you purchase the software?
Right now with Bright Investor, every account, the price is for one seat. And so you cannot be logged in at multiple computers at the same time in the same account. If you have multiple people, so one person logs in, so no one else can use that account while that person is logged in. There's one account for one person. We have had this feature requested a lot for enterprise options. So for small to mid-sized companies that have several seats or want to buy the platform for multiple individuals, we've gotten that requested more than almost anything else. We're working on it, and that's going to be coming out relatively soon, which offers multiple seats under one parent account, being able to see a little bit of a discounted price as well. But right now, one membership was one account.
And just so you guys know, this is a brand new software, and these guys are like pushing out updates like crazy. Every week I hear like new updates coming. So they're on top of things. And if you have a request, like they're very responsive to any request that you have. Like this short-term rental is because people were requesting, hey, can we get short-term rental data in here? And they push it out so quick. So they've only been active for what, you were live 2 months ago or something like that?
Yeah, about 2 months. Just about two months ago. That's it.
Okay. Who do we have next? Alyssa, go ahead and unmute Alyssa.
So if we sign up now and then whenever y'all roll out with the enterprise option to have a team all have an account, will we have the ability to upgrade later, or how will that work?
Absolutely. One of the benefits of us that we are a small company, we'll work with everybody on their specific use case. So we roll out enterprise options and you guys are looking to go from one seat to maybe 4 or 5 for your whole team. 100% will work with you to make sure you guys upgrade the accounts you need, work with the pricing with you, 100%.
All right. So Terrence is asking, what's the difference between the elite, professional, and standard plans? Are some features missing?
I can go ahead and I'll share my screen real quick just for anyone else who's not on that page right now. So this right here, this is the different levels of Bright Investor. So elite, for instance, is nationwide data access. So you're not limited to just 3 states like you are in professional. Number of PDF exports is unlimited with elite versus only 30 a month or 10 a month with standard. Searches are unlimited compared to if it's a free account, you're looking at 10 a week and a whole lot less data features, obviously.
It's this community of people that has gotten us where we're at. We can't wait to show more people and help everyone achieve their financial independence dreams. Oh, I'm excited.
Awesome. Megan and Terrence are like, wow, we love your enthusiasm for market research. It's really coming through. And I think that's why this platform is so great. It's because you guys really care. You guys are passionate about market research, and you're passionate about helping people get into real estate and feel confident about investing and getting into their first, second, third deal. So I love that. There isn't any other software that I've seen that has all this kind of information especially at this like low of a price. So it's pretty crazy. And I'm sure they're not going to keep the prices this low for long. So you definitely want to get on top of it and take advantage of the discount code. Last minute question is Terrence is asking if we will be grandfathered in if the price increases later.
Yeah, so if you sign up for an account now and price increases come out later, you will be grandfathered in. Absolutely.
Perfect.
You got it, Terrence.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to Donato and Drew directly. But if not, we'll go ahead and let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
See you guys.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.